Let's talk about the Ripple lawsuit. Everybody's in high anticipation of Judge Torres's ruling. It could happen today, could happen next week. What are your thoughts? Do you think we hear something very soon?
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. Mark Fagel, who was on my crypto law show with Jeremy Hogan, former SEC regional chief, a guy who knows the SEC in and out. He said two interesting things. One, he said he thought the SEC should win, but he thinks that the SEC may lose. I found that interesting. And he also said he expects the decision any day now. Now, I expected the decision before today. I said that I wouldn't be shocked if it took, through the summer, but I would be surprised if we were in June and it was still pending. And we're in June and it's still pending. So I'm also in the camp that we could get a decision today. We could get a decision next week. I've told XRP holders, I'm really, really confident that the worst case scenario is September. And I say worst case because some people think it's going to be, next year, right? Yeah. There's some people, well, if September 30th comes and she hasn't decided, she has to report herself to Congress and say, I have been waiting to rule on this massively important decision for 9 months and I'm still haven't done it. It's like think about that list as like a public shaming list, right? A judge doesn't want to go on that list because it looks like he or she's not doing their job and they're not, being diligent. So I'm very confident that Judge Torres would never allow herself to go on that list.
Before we proceed, kindly support our channel by pressing the subscribe and notification bell. Originating in the Ripple Chief Legal Officer Alderodi Stewart. As with all federal employees, SEC workers must always maintain the appearance of objectivity in their work. One of the legal questions to consider is whether or not an objective observer would have grounds to doubt an employee's objectivity given the available information. You are now aware of the truth. Workers in the public sector owe it to the public to put the Constitution, the law, and ethical ideals ahead of personal gain. In addition, he provided a legal code of conduct. Solicitor Deaton has now revealed this information. If the SEC was concerned with Ripple's percentage of outstanding XRP, it might have imposed a barrier and given Ripple 3 to 5 years to lower its holdings to meet the maximum threshold. Ripple has already done that to assist cover the $200 million in legal bills it will incur fighting the SEC. The argument is that Warren Davidson is correct in saying that Clayton and Heinemann are partly to blame for America's lagging performance in this area. Hester Pierce of all the SEC staff must feel the most frustration. It was Clayton and Roisman. They held a 3-2 advantage. The International Monetary Fund and the World Bank settling their transactions in XRP as a central bank of central banks. Check out the writing. The foundation still rests on a universal, non-national money, and XRP may be the perfect fit. It basically does so now. XRP might be used as a means of settlement between banks around the world while maintaining equilibrium and bilateral connections thanks to the MFIN, the World Bank's joint role as central bank for central banks. Mrs. Legray never directly advocated for the usage of XRP, but she did propose some concepts that would work well with XRP as the system's currency. In addition, Ripple already collaborates with around half of the world's central banks, so it has built and is actively fighting for a network that would put it at the forefront if the old Keynes plan were to become an option again for the IMF. The head of the MF knows a lot about Ripple, its technologies, and its currency since she has singled it out in the past, labeling it a disruptor, for example, above other digital assets. The International Monetary Fund should naturally utilize Ripple with its established infrastructure. XRP is primed to usher in the next generation of global currency Legislators in the UK's posh Parliament House are now moving forward with a proposal that might encourage the usage of cryptocurrency by regulating financial markets. On June 19, many members of the House of Lords were enthusiastic about approving the Financial Services and Markets Bill during a meeting. The purpose of this legislation is to fortify the financial services sector in the country. The House gave final approval to the bill on its third reading, one of the last steps before it becomes law. Legislators say they got together on June 19 to discuss how to make the bill more streamlined and more effective. The upper house of Parliament will review the bill and make any necessary adjustments before sending it back to the lower house. The Federal Reserve is widely expected to hold off on raising interest rates again on Wednesday. The central bank will make a statement after its two-day meeting that will include economic updates and interest rate forecasts. After that, Chairman Jerome Powell will hold a news conference in which he is likely to take a cautious stance and leave the door open to more rate hikes. First of all, I wouldn't place too much stock in estimates even 1 year out, let alone 2 and 3 years out, because of how unreliable they are, but they show that even when inflation is predicted to decrease if interest rates aren't lowered, real rates would increase, thus the nominal rate must be kept constant in order to preserve the actual rate. Reduced rates are needed in about 2 years' time to keep real rates stable. It is likely, if not certain, that it will be prudent to lower interest rates after inflation has begun to decline significantly. This is because real rates will need to be meaningfully, positively, and significantly so for us to bring inflation down. Again, this is forecasting for the upcoming years. As far as I can tell, no one on the committee suggested a rate drop for this year, and I don't understand why that would be the case. Inflation, on reflection, so far it has shown little response to our rate increases, so we'll have to keep working at it. Officials in Indonesia have modified its regulations on crypto tokens that can be traded. The existing regulations, known as trade regulating, have been updated. Authorities' rules and guidelines. 11th 2022 Commodity Futures Contract. This change demonstrates significant progress toward legal acceptance of cryptocurrencies in Indonesia. They made it official that trading in some cryptocurrencies is acceptable within the country. The new rule is known as Commodity Futures Trading Regulations. It simply provides a catalog of all the tradable cryptocurrencies in Indonesia's market. Will blockchain's official Twitter feed provided additional details about the tokens that can be traded. It was observed that XRP, ADA, and Ethereum were all on the list because they are all considered securities by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. That's all for now. If you have any business proposals, simply send us a message in the mail or telegram provided below. And if you are not subscribed yet, simply press the subscribe and notification bell. Thank you for watching and see you in our next video.